I just turned a 7.5 and an 8.0 of the first appearance of Miles Morales into a 9.6 and a 9.4 using the power of pressing. And that brings me to what we're going to talk about today, which is crappy modern paper and the importance of getting your books pressed. Guys, 6 months ago, I got a copy of Ultimate Fallout 4. It was still in the original poly bag. It was untouched, unread. I sent it off to CGC, and I got a 7.5 off of solely from the indentation of the poly bag down the middle, which I've talked about on this channel that CGC treats detrimentally to your grades. Well, did a video. I had Richard from Broads and Modern Gods come on and basically tell me.
And for your book, you know, the good news is, you could crack that slab, press it, and end up still with the 9698.
And lo and behold, didn't squeeze a 9.8, but we did get a 9.6 and a 9.4 out of books that were previously a 7.5 and an 8.0. I knew from the grader's notes that this was something that was pressable, meaning this was purely just a little bit of an indentation in the middle of the book. Now for this one, I got this one as an 8.0 off of eBay. I paid for the grader's notes, which, by the way, CGC just announced that if you have a membership to CGC, grader's notes are free to you. That is huge news. Good on you, CGC, for doing that. Anyway, I looked at the grader's notes and I found that everything was pressable except for one defect. And it looks like it came back with basically only finally accounting for the one defect that wasn't pressable. So today we are specifically talking about modern paper versus old paper. I bring this up because Ultimate Fallout 4 really is the best example there is. A lot of companies cut corners when it comes to page quality. There is a reason for it. Basically, you see that price tag on there? I think this is a $3.99. Yeah, this is a $3.99 even though it's 10 years old. Most books are $3.99 or $4.99. And to keep from getting into the $6, $7, $8 range, the last 10, 15 years, really, a lot of the main publishers have been using a much lighter paper grade. I notice it a lot in specifically Marvel omnibuses, graphic novels. Guys, before I go any further, don't forget to subscribe, comment down below. We got the 12,000 subscriber giveaway coming up and you're gonna win a PS5. At 15,000 subscribers, one of you, I'm just buying your favorite comic book, up to $500 value. And in the spirit of giving, I said I was gonna be doing a members only giveaway, and I am going to give this copy of this classic KKK Black Panther issue to one of the members that joined this week. So congrats to Martin Brandt. You've won this great classic Black Panther issue. There's just periods of time in which Marvel has better paper than DC, and DC has better paper than Marvel. Sorry, Marvel fans, but DC tends to have better paper. I often find that Image Comics has even better paper than both of those. Anyway, 90s comics, guys, you've probably wondered I've done a bunch of CGC unboxings. I pull 9.8s all the time. Modern books, it's almost like I have more trouble. How could that be? And truth be told, it is because the paper quality of the last decade has been pretty rough. Specifically, we're going to be looking at you, Marvel. I have been trying for months to do a video exclusively on paper and what paper is used in modern versus old, and the exact details escape me. I can't seem to find exact research that shows definitively when Marvel switched to a lighter grade or what exact paper they have right now. All there are chat boards online, but essentially the industry standard is you can have 60, 70, or 80 covers. Obviously, the higher you go, the thicker the cover. A lot of these covers are 60, which is still fairly strong, but some of these covers are almost as weak as the interior pages. We're talking like a 32 or a 35. And when you have covers that are barely stronger than interior pages or as weak as the interior pages, you're going to have a pretty weak, flopsy, flimsy book. If you have a book that can't support the contents on the inside because it's too heavy on the inside, you're going to have them squish. you're going to have them get all wrinkly, and it's going to hurt the spine, sometimes even just sitting. I've noticed I have a couple collections that I've just stored away from the past few years. Some of the books I haven't even read, yet I see spine ticks on them. How could this be? The reality is, the paper is just weaker. Now, CGC will get you for wrinkles. Now, luckily, ripples and wrinkles, easiest thing to press out, even more than really anything, even more than spine rolls. So luckily for you, pressing can take care of that. But pressing has become more prevalent than ever, I think, more for modern books rather than books from the 90s, even the 80s. If you're dealing with 90s and 80s books, I tend to find them in better condition than books from a decade ago. It's just the craziest thing. I think the biggest problem I run into with 80s books, I might be in danger of them getting off-white to white pages at this point because the pages are getting old. With modern books, I'm just in more danger of getting not the grade that I want because of these issues. So you guys have been hearing for a while now the importance of pressing your books. Well, I think it's always important to press books, especially older books, because it's fun to see what grade they could possibly get if you get them nice and flat and iron out all the flaws. But with modern books, like I'm talking new books, it's almost more of a requirement. These books are so much weaker that I get nervous about even CGC handling them. But not all hope is lost, because as it shows, some of these flaws that come from weaker paper can be pressed out, and they can land you a 9.6, they can land you a 9.4. Sometimes if it comes to color breaking spine ticks, you're just out of luck. I want you to write in the comments down below, which would you prefer? Sturdier paper and a $6 price tag? Or would you prefer the same $4, maybe $5 price tag, but keep these comics with the sturdiness they have now? I know some people actually look fondly on the crappier paper because it actually makes the hobby more interesting to collect books now. That's a very glass half full way of looking at that, taking something kind of annoying and turning it to something positive. It does make achieving a 9.8 tougher than you would think for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old books. Sorry guys, I had to flip my hat around. There was a string hanging over my head. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what you would prefer, because honestly, something's got to give. People get upset with Marvel specifically for having weaker paper, but as I've explained, it comes at a cost. Obviously, you could switch it up and pay a little bit more, and the paper might go away for a few years until that becomes the new norm, and then the paper is going to have to drop or prices go up again. Now, if you're watching this video and you just want to press your books for your personal collection, or you want to press them and get graded, great ways to go. Honestly, these Instagram pressers that you find are pretty great. Sometimes I find them to be the best and certainly the quickest for the most part. One I do recommend that you can find online is Avery Pressing. I think they do a great job. Also, CGC does a great pressing service themselves. It's with CCS. These actually were pressed by CCS. Now, a lot of people like to be CCS, blah, 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 return times. Yes, CCS return times are dog shit. But if you don't mind waiting, I like their quality and their pressing a lot. And clearly, if you can turn a 7.5 into a 9.6, and if you can turn an 8.0 into a 9.4, something's working. Funny thing is, guys, I still say that is a 9.8 in hiding, but I was happy to see a 9.6. I scoured this thing. There are no flaws. None. That's okay, though. A 9.6 is virtually a 9.8. Oh, by the way, these are totally for sale. You know how I do on the channel? First come, first serve. First person to email or DM me on Instagram gets this. The 9.4 is going to go for $1,100 or $1,000 cash. And then the 9.6 is going to go for $1,500 with $1,400 cash. I wanted to show you guys firsthand the power and importance of pressing and what it can do for modern, crappier paper. As always, guys, keep on hunting, and I'll see you at the next video.